Last time we spoke, we spoke on Moon Knight episode 1.
Yes.
Now there's been 2 more episodes. Ed, I'll let you go first on this one, buddy. What do
you want to talk episode 2 and 3?
Just
Kinda
talk
together?
episode 3. Just put them together. Talk how you feel about the show and how it's going right now.
Just to recap everybody on what our first episode, our pilot episode recap. We were both like, it was good. We enjoyed it. I think we were both a little disappointed though, because it felt a little too mysterious and not too much giving us like good ground to sort of latch onto.
Right.
But I will say, and I think I can speak for both of us on this one too, that we have enjoyed episode 2 and 3 on a much better than episode 1, and I think it's only getting better.
Yeah. It's like climbing a ladder. It's getting higher and higher, which is better and better.
Which is always great, right? Like you want to see something get better instead of worse. Right. So, and that's all I could have prayed for. So, episode 2 I thought was really good. What exactly happens in episode 2 though? Oh yeah, he visits Harrow, and
Arthur
like
Harrow,
we get to learn more about the cult, and then we see him transform into Mr. Knight. All that again. The thing about this that's really keeping it together is Oscar Isaac, right?
Yes.
His performance also keeps getting better and better. Then in episode 3, we get even more of that. They're in Egypt, and we see more of the lore and the gods play into this shit.
Yes.
Like all of that is fantastic. I love its trajectory. So I'm having a great time with this, and I can only hope that in the next half of the season, there's 3 more episodes. That it keeps building and it keeps giving us more Oscar Isaac mystery. We learned that in the last episode that there's a third identity,
possibly.
Like, very cool. That's cool. I love it. What's been yours?
Oh, I'm pretty much on the same spectrum. My only gripe with it, I'll start with a gripe because you were so positive about it.
Oh yeah,
CGI
absolutely.
hasn't been great. He looks weird in the suit. It's clear they spent a lot of money on Khonshu, because his character looks, when he's on screen and he's talking with Mark Spector or Stephen Grant, it looks fantastic. It looks like he's really there. But when he's wearing that suit, like they blew their budget on certain things, and other you can tell it's failing in other parts of the show.
They CGI. Why are they CGIing the suit? They clearly also made a practical suit.
I agree.
It's really weird. I don't know if there was a problem post-production, like they found,
maybe.
But I'm actually really confused as to how much is it the whole suit that's being CGI'd? There's enough of the suit being CGI'd because you can tell.
I think he wore some on it, but they've gone an extra layer of CGI on top of it. The face mask is 100% CGI.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, with the eyes and
the cape is 100% CGI.
That's for sure. Yeah, but like the body, right? There's some parts of his body that are CGI. I'm like, you have a practical suit. I can only guess that perhaps because maybe it is made out of like real wrap or something, that maybe there's like some defects that they caught in post. I don't know.
I think you're onto something there, because I do think that maybe they saw the footage, they saw the dailies, they're like, I don't like the way this looks. We're gonna redo it.
Or maybe it's possible, like under certain lighting conditions, it just wasn't popping out enough.
Yeah. Right.
Maybe, and so they have to go in and just kind of CGI certain parts to just make it look better.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so that's my guess. Yeah,
that's my only gripe with it. The CGI hasn't been great, and it does take away a little bit from the action scenes, I'd say.
I think so.
Like the action scene in this area, the big action sequence was at the end, where he's in this like carnival, this rich guy's carnival thing.
Carnival.
It's what it is, basically.
It
bro.
really is. It does look like a car. I'm like, I was a little confused as to what this guy does. Like he's like a historical collector, so he has a jousting ring in his fucking.
Also,
I don't know.
Rest in peace to that actor. He passed away in February. Poor guy in a skiing accident.
He did. I forgot it was him. I didn't realize that was the guy. Yeah. I saw the memoriam at the end. I was like, that's him.
Oh man, that's so sad. But
that really sucks.
Yeah.
But
he was young. He was like our age.
It's great, like to get a big break like that, and he had he got a good screen time, and just to know that life's short, everybody, man. Like don't
take it for granted.
Don't get it for granted. That's a great critique, though. I like that. Yeah,
but that's my only gripe with the show so far. We get a hint at his third character, so I did some research. There is a third identity. His name is Jake Lockley.
Is this the taxi driver?
He's basically he's essentially a taxi driver from the movie. He's modeled like him. He has these he has like a very moral, like questionable compass. So
you're talking about the De Niro film, right?
Yes.
What film are you talking about? Okay.
Taxi Driver.
And not the one with what's his face? Queen Latifah and
James Fallon.
What was that movie?
Taxi.
It's just called Taxi.
Yeah, where the taxi turns into a fucking supercar and you're like,
I actually kind of like that movie. I don't know. Another
I'd have to rewatch it. It's been a while. Anyway, so yeah, at the very end of that movie, he's like in reverse and he's like singing a song, isn't he? Because he can't drive at all.
Correct.
Yeah, I do remember that.
He has to. I think he has to sing. We gotta find this clip.
Yeah,
he sang "Staying Alive." I think.
Yeah, I think.
And then he's driving backwards.
Yeah, it's like driving backwards.
Because like she's shot or something, and he needs to drive. I don't know. Dude, I remember watching that movie multiple times though, going like, I just think this is it's funny.
A good, funny, stupid time.
I need to fucking pop that in and watch it again. We need to watch that and do an episode because no one talks about that movie, and I think we need to bring it back up. Okay.
Oh God, no. Anyway.
Taxi Driver, De Niro.
Taxi Driver, De Niro. Jake Lockley is kind of, I guess, designed and molded after him, and he has a questionable moral compass. So I'm thinking Jake Lockley will make his appearance in the 4th episode, which also I completely agree with that. It has gotten better and better, and it's when Oscar Isaac is just fighting out on himself, you're just kind of like, yo, man, don't even let him put on the suit. Let's just watch Mark Spector beat some guys up because that's pretty fucking cool.
I agree. And that was actually one of my I don't want to say it's a complaint, but it kind of is in the sense that, and we talked about this too, is that one of my complaints is that I actually don't feel like I need Moon Knight in his suit at all at the moment. Like I feel like they everything else has been built up so well. Like you said, I really care about Steven. I love Mark, and I want to see that. Yeah. When he's in Moon Knight mode, for me it actually kind of I don't really care about it as much. I just don't. Yeah, because I don't think they're doing a good job of what's the word? Like showcasing his powers, right? Like what makes him different. He kind of looks like a generic vigilante crime fighter, right? We've seen multiple times, and I just don't.
It was weird to me. In the fight scene at the carnival again, it was weird to me that he's impenetrable to bullets, but he can get stabbed through with his staffs.
Thank you. Yes, exactly. That
was weird. They're not doing a great job of that part.
Granted, like he uses cape technically to stop the bullets, not the suit. But again, why is the cape invulnerable to bullets? That doesn't make any sense. Also, he did something really crazy. I was like, he like did a magician's throw cape thing, and it like sent the bullets back at the same speed as the bullets. I'm like, okay, I don't know, but
what are his powers? How many powers does he have? Clearly,
that didn't make sense.
They try to show him with super speed, essentially. Because when he runs towards the horse, he's got a lot of speed. He can clearly jump high. Did you notice the quick? Speaking of that, like the quick cut of him bashing through the wood, like just to emphasize how fast he was. I thought that was funny. I thought it was funny too. It
didn't translate. I was like, okay, that's funny.
So again, they've done a really good job building Steve Grant, building Mark Spector, because again, in episode 3, you finally get to see them work in tandem.
Yes, that was the best parts of the episode. 100%. 100%.
It was great because now you realize, hey, he's got these different identities, and now they can work together. They can work symbiotically.
That's the fun part.
Yeah, push through to the next thing. That's what makes, I think, his character unique.
I agree.
So I'm excited to see where it goes. The director has said that episode 4, everything changes. Now look. The director of Loki said at the end of Loki, everything changes, which actually turned out to be true.
That's very true.
But there was also statements by the WandaVision director, which didn't come out to be true. They were just hype. So it could be a 50-50 thing. But I think that, hey, I think it could be a massive episode. I think we'll meet Jake Lockley, if that's what they call him. They may not call him Jake Lockley. I'm assuming they will. And then I think something's got to happen with Khonshu and Moon Knight. So
yeah. By the way, I've been loving Khonshu as a character. I love the decision to make him very. He's an asshole. He's an ass.
Yes, that's a
he
great
means
way to put
well,
it.
right?
Yes.
He means well. He wants to do good, but he is an asshole.
Dick.
He's such a dick, and I love it.
He thinks he knows everything, and he's right all the time, and he's so he like doesn't understand. Like, you're so fucking stubborn.
Yeah,
that
stubborn. Yeah, that's a big one. He's immensely stubborn, but he's trying to do good.
Right.
And I love that. Like, you don't see that very often, particularly for like again, he's a god, so you expect these characters to be more wisdom, more.
Right.
The voice of reason, and he's completely flawed. He's almost as broken as Mark, and that's what one of my favorite scenes was the trial scene, whenever that god's in the Pyramid of Giza scene first. And you brought up like that, the production design on that thing was awesome. It's movie level quality. I was like, that's fucking awesome. But there's that moment where you like, well, they sort of berate Mark to be like, are you okay? Like, are you good? And he's like, and he admits that he's not. Like, I'm not okay. And that it gets entwined with the fact that Khonshu is not okay. Like, these two are probably not the best people to be working on this case.
No.
And yet they are. They're the ones who are like, we need to do this. And that's a great new dynamic in the MCU,
Absolutely.
like in terms of the story. And I love that. That's really great. I think it's really one of the best parts of this show. Yeah.
So I'm very interested to see where episode 4 takes us, and then obviously 5 and 6. But I think more importantly, I'm interested to see how the bigger effect on the MCU. There's been a lot of rumors that, since this does have to deal with gods, that maybe Thor or someone else is dealing with it, that maybe Gore the God Butcher is part of this, and that's why we haven't seen anything.
Sure.
Maybe not. I don't care anymore at this point. I'm holding down to the fact that we're not getting anything till Multiverse Madness.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Like, I honestly don't really care if they explain that or not. I don't really need it. Because they built this all up so well now. I'm like, okay, fine. Yeah. Okay. There's Egyptian gods. That's fine. I don't, because there's fucking dragons in Shang-Chi.
Like, it's not just dragons, bro. It's a world inside another world.
Yeah, another dimension. Like, how do dimensions work in time? I don't know. I don't care. You don't need to necessarily explain that to me. I just think that this is cool. Like, I kind of get it now. Like, okay, everything's up for grabs. Like,
we leave it
werewolves,
out.
all supernatural shit that we've ever done as humanity is like a part of, is the reason it's there is because MCU, like, straight up like that. I'm like, okay. Cool, whatever. So you don't have to tie this in with the dragon and Shang-Chi or the gods necessarily. I'm sure they will, but
I think the gods will be tied in, because I do think it will connect to the wider MCU at some point. Because this is the one show where it's kind of been no MCU at all so far. Yeah, and I think Kevin Feige's saying at the end you'll see where it all connects.
You'll see where it goes.
And where it goes.
You mentioned Gore the God Butcher, which I thought that's actually a really cool way if they had to do it. Like, that'd be a really dope ass way to introduce a character, which again, maybe this is why they're holding Thor for so fucking long, is because maybe Gore the God Butcher fucking comes at the end of this fucking season and just slices all those gods' heads off.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. how cool would that be to be like, oh, now we know why fucking Mark Spector and Khonshu are going to be part of the MCU, because this is now a problem.
And some stupid stinger that says Moon Knight will return in Thor: Love and Thunder.
And again, I love those. I love those stingers where it's like personal, right? Like, that's a very personal thing to happen to Mark, and what we just saw, I would completely buy that. It's just like how they bought us with Black Panther and what's his face, like
Captain America: Civil War.
In Captain America: Civil War, when it was just like, it was just his father. His father was caught in the crossfire.
Yeah,
and like, that's all you really need.
Here it is. Right.
Yeah, he didn't need to be like, oh, we knew about him a long time ago. He knew Natasha like from 15 years ago. No, he knew no one.
It's
just this event that happened, and now he's a part of it, and like, that's fine.
If you're watching this and you watch our excitement on it on YouTube, or you can even hear the excitement in our voices on Spotify, you can tell that it's a very different way we're looking at the future of the MCU versus the future of DC. Just because, which we talked about earlier today, just because like the MCU can now has pockets of craziness that are just so exciting. You have this like new dimension where Shang-Chi will live, and I think we'll see a new Iron Fist. We'll see a lot new mystical characters. Then you have this other dimension where gods and ancient creatures are now part of the game, and now everything's. And then also you have the real world where it's about to break into a massive multiverse and a galaxy that's falling apart. It's fantastic how they've built everything. And like, we haven't even gotten into any new characters yet. Like Black Knight's been introduced. Blade has been introduced. These dudes are coming out somewhere, sometime.
Vampires, like
it's gonna Werewolf by Night is the first comic that Moon Knight appeared in.
Yeah,
he chases down a werewolf. Werewolf by Night apparently is a one-off Disney Plus movie coming later this year.
Fuck yeah.
So
please,
I think
yes.
Yeah, so like they're getting into the supernatural stuff, this mystical stuff, the galaxy stuff. It's just there's so many new pockets of the MCU. You almost like don't even care if there's not another Avengers for another 5 years.
I don't necessarily. Right? I don't need it.
That's how they've done it.
I agree,
it's
dude.
Amazing.
It's fucking. I can't. I stand back at awe, and it makes me feel like when just to bring it back to DC and like, can DC find a Kevin Feige? I don't know if that's a straight answer, man. Like, of course there's possibility. Of course there could be, but Kevin Feige is on another level. Like, he's just found a pocket
groove
of a vibe that no one in history has found.
Right.
He is such a pioneer for that. I just don't know. I don't know if it's an easy answer of like, there's of course you can get another Kevin Feige somewhere, just pull him in, he'll know what to do. I don't know.
You're gonna have to find. It's difficult because you'll have to find a fan that also knows how to execute it.
Exactly, and that's what he is, right? He's like,
that's what makes Kevin Feige special. He's a fan, but he can execute it.
A lot of people don't realize that Kevin Feige didn't just pop out of nowhere, right? Like, he's been, not only has he been working on films in a general sense for years, he was working on MCU Marvel films, before all this. So he was the perfect storm of just what I guess is needed, the concoction needed to bring something like this out. And like, I don't know how many people there are who can say the same thing. I'm not sure, but
I agree, man. It's crazy.
It seems like lightning in a ball to me. I don't know if it's gonna be easy. But whatever fucking Feige's on, I want it. Just like, if it's a secret,
but who knows?
Tiger Blood. I don't know. Whatever,
dude. Anyway, but that's
that's
the talk of Moon Knight. Very excited for episode 4. Very excited to see how it connects to you. It's gonna be a crazy ending. I mean, the next like month of Marvel news is gonna be nuts.
It's gonna blow up.
Yeah, because we'll say it again. We're going to get a Thor Love and Thunder trailer. I don't think it's coming till after Multiverse of Madness. I think something happens in that film or something happens in Moon Knight.
I'm telling you, look, if fucking Kang is in Loki, there's a very big possibility that Gore could show up in a Moon Knight. And then, why not?
Bingo, bango, bongo. There you're like, oh, fuck. That's why we haven't seen anything.